It's after midnight and everybody's gone to bed. It's time for some midnight ops. Alright, it's 2 a.m. Time for some midnight ops. So this is about the second Gun4IR gun or mod that I did. And this is what I used. It was the Recoil RK-45 Spitfire recoil weapon. Once again, I was introduced to this from Ray at RPEG Electronics. Oops, that's the camera up there. So this is just the box. I got two brand new ones of these. These are no longer in production. I don't know if it was COVID that basically ruined these. But these were laser tag weapons. They're a whole system. I never even heard of them until I saw Ray do a review on it. So this is just the box. Just wanted to show that. And this is an eBay purchase. So it's a little scuffed, a couple little things wrong with it, but this one hasn't been modded at all yet. So this is it in its unmodded glory, which, you know, looks, you know, the point for it to look just like the modded. So this has, so this is battery operated. Batteries go in here. Let me just take a look at that. Just take that off real quick here. So you just pop the screw right here. Boom. So this is these batteries were dead, so Amazon, but these batteries were dead. So, but they just basically go in here. This one is a little difficult to take apart, mostly because there's, you know, it's not simplistic. There's not very simple directions on how to do it. You know, of course, when you go take most things apart, it's just, okay, let's start taking all the screws out. So obviously you can see all the screws all over the thing. And it's true, pretty much take all the screws out. The part that is actually difficult, or that takes a little bit, is that there is, so you see a screw right here. And when you take this out, this doesn't come off all the way. So this actually goes through this little plastic thing all the way through to the other side. But there's a little hinge right here. I don't know if you can see it that well, but there's a little hinge right there. And you have to pop that little pin out all the way. So when you take this screw out, this kind of comes up, but it doesn't, but it's hinged right here. So you have to pop that out. And then once you pop that out, there'll be you have to like jam a screwdriver in there and then pull this portion of it out. You can see where it's broken right there. So basically these are two separate parts. So this part right here and then this part are two separate parts. So they'll pop off, and then that'll basically, you'll be able to get the whole thing apart. So this is, I just want to show you kind of an unblemished one. And this one I wanted because kind of like the Jolt gun, which I already gave you guys a look at, you know, it had the slide back. This one had something else that I wanted, which is I wanted one that has a button right here, because I wanted to be able to have that, you know, kind of like a, you know, a classic reload feel. So like if you're holding it, you know, granted with this thing, it's you know, my hands aren't huge, but, you know, man-sized hands. So this right here kind of hurts it a little bit, but I kind of wanted to be able to, you know, do the, like, you know, kind of like you're pulling and slamming in a cartridge. So that's the reason I wanted that one. This one also, like I said, is battery powered, which on the mod I took the batteries out because I don't like replacing batteries. And then you have a button here on the back, a button here, and this actually lights up. Of course, then you have this. So let's take a look at I already took apart the one that I modded, so you can take a look at that. Let me pull that up here. All right, so let me pull that over from over here. This one's already been modded. Make sure the cords aren't dangling on the ground. So let's flip this up right here because it's still connected. So I took all the screws out again, and you can kind of see the top here. This is what I was talking about. So, you know, you have the battery case. I have two of them here. I don't have the other one. So you have the battery case there. So it go on, screws in right here. Let me go grab the other piece real quick. And then this is the other piece. So this is the part that you saw that goes on the back, that goes here. Goes on the back like this. And then there is another piece that goes over the top of that. Let me grab that real quick as well. All right, so like I said, this part goes over the back. It goes over this right here. You can see where the screw goes through right there. So it's not going on because there's that gap there. And then this goes on top of it with the hinge part going through right here. So when the hinge is in there, you can't lift it up all the way. it only comes up like a certain way. You can't really get in there. So basically you have to, you know, use like, I think I used one of these, because I didn't have a punch that small. So I just used one of these, and I basically, because you see it's small enough to actually go through, so I just used that and punched it out. It took a lot of effort. It was actually pretty securely attached there. And then once I got it open, it actually comes apart in a couple pieces. So you'll see here, so you got this white section here, and then you have this another section, and then actually this came off earlier, but this goes over the pistol grip right here on the inside to cover that up. And then you can see here kind of the way it's designed. This is the board I made for it. This is the board that came with it. So this was right here. These are the connectors for the battery. You know, they went over here in there. But this is the original board. This is the only thing basically I took out. Everything else is in here as it was. This is a switch here that goes here, and it actually lights up. So it just runs off the VCC from the Arduino. And of course, obviously, I actually did change some other stuff, obviously, because I had to put the camera in here. There was a cone in here, and I just took that cone out, put the camera in there. Now this one actually came out really well. It fit in like a glove. So you can kind of see the red there. If you remember my Jolt gun, that's the fisheye lens. It fit in there perfectly, just popped right in. And it was great. And then once again, you see the that first black ring there is the where you screw the fisheye lens in, and then to that I glued the first of the retention rings that come with the Gun4IR, or not the Gun4IR, that come with the camera. And then the second one, it spins freely in order to basically, you know, tighten up and keep the camera in place. That's why I'm not worried about moving this around, because it's on there pretty tight. It's not going to mess up my calibration, and y'all test it before I do that anyway. But I super glued these ones in. It fit in there perfectly because the hot glue is just so messy. You know, and it didn't do that great for me on the last one, so I just used super glue, and it glued in perfectly, and it worked great. I mean, it's like I said, it's like I've been made for it. Just popped right in there. The switch is a little weird, you know, for this. So this is the trigger, obviously. This has a little bit, almost lost my spring. So this has a little bit different trigger switch here. You know, it's not like the kind I was used to. It's just a little different, which is interesting. Had some trouble when I was going to get back together, getting this one to go in there correctly. It's a weird fit. And then, of course, you can see right here, this is the motor. Oops. This is the motor. Because this is just a motor-driven recoil. So I tested the voltage off of this before I changed everything up. You know, it had 4 AA batteries, so I mean, it's running off 6 volts, and coming out of going to the motor. So I was, you know, because I tested to see if this like reduced the voltage any, you know, or anything like that. So from the output going to the motor, which I don't remember where that was. It was one of these. Might have been. Let's see. That one actually right there. So that was the one going out to the motor. So I took it off and jumped it, and I think it was something like, I mean, granted, I put brand new batteries in it, so you know it's like 5.8 volts, something like that. So it's going to get in the full voltage, but because of the problem I had with the Jolt gun and it drawing too much current, I decided not to try to run it off the VCC. I'm like, well, why mess with it, you know, and have that possibility? So, you know, I took just another power cord I had and ran it up, and it actually does fit through. There's the little hole here for this was, I think, what you connected your sensor to, that you clip to your chest. It's just a 2-pin sensor, but I just took it out, and once again, my handy soldering iron melted some of the supports here to run the cable out, and the cable and the power cord both fit through that gap. So it actually fits pretty perfectly. I mean, this thing is really great for all these games. I mean, because it has the motor recoil, so you can do full automatic if you want to without the worrying about burning it out. And because I hooked it up to power, I'm not worried about it, you know, draining the batteries. I have to replace batteries. It's kind of cool that this lights up. You know, I just have it connected, just direct connect, so it just lights up. You know, basically when it has power, it lights up. And this light, though, this one is run from the VCC off this. And then, of course, you see I just used this space to just put the board for the recoil. Plenty of room. Just put a bunch of you know, common grounds here. So this is all the grounds for like the switches and everything coming up, and just a common ground, then just one ground running to the board. You know, just to kind of, you know, keep it. And of course, you know, once again, I kind of made a hole here and a hole here, and everything fit in here perfectly. It was great, you know, honestly. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Otherwise, see you on the next Midnight Ops.